Well, how do you do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I have some White Mule 27 rusted Ozark whiskey, distilled and bottled by White Mule Distillery, Purdy, Missouri, distilled from bourbon mash, aged in recoopered barrels. I have this signed both by the owner, the head distiller, and Mark, the distiller that works there. A word of caution: if you work hard, play hard, and live fast, then this bottle is for you. I don't know how fast I live anymore. There was a time. I kind of try to keep it on cruise, if you know what I mean. Rest of it is funny. I did a video with this when I first got it. I talked about it, but I didn't refer to it as a rusted oak whiskey. I talked about a rusted oak. I didn't realize they actually call it rusted oak, but it typically means it's aged under 18 months. But this stuff is just brilliant. Yeah, they have a proprietary process that they're kind of tight-lipped about, but it does give it the feel that it is aged longer than it probably is, because it has a lot of character, it has a lot of dimension, and it's very smooth. Oh, good gravy! That's the aromas are just crazy. I know they use recoopered wine barrels. That's what I know for a fact. I got a tour out there when I was out there from the owner Gary Grantham and distiller Mark, and they were just very nice to me. So I certainly recommend the joint and all their products. In fact, I'm out of the Mountain Maid, which is their unaged smoked corn whiskey, and that's what's interesting about it. One, they have this great water source that gives you a very clean product, but what he does different is it's not just a corn whiskey; it's a smoked corn whiskey. So that gives it that added dimension. So I'm doing that thing that I personally like to do. I'm doing that thing I do, man. I'm having a beer and whiskey. But I chose this particular beer for a reason. It's the beer to drink music by, 6.8%. Not by, but beer to drink music to, I should say, a tropical blonde. Mostly because it does have a lot of tropical fruit flavors, but it isn't a hoppy beer, so to speak. Let me go back over here and I'll read you some from their particular website about this beer. Show it to you again. Here, it's got a nice color, deep golden, has almost like a slightly pinkish hue, I suppose. Although, in all honesty, I'm just this side of colorblind. See colors just fine. I just don't differentiate shades real well. 6.8%, 30 IBU, released February, March, April, and May. It was the end of March as I purchased it, because March 30th it first came to town. I picked it up on the 31st today, and now I'm sharing it with you. Uh, they do say pinkish red brew, so I wasn't wrong there. Aroma: tropical fruit, papaya, mango, citrus, floral, hints of berries. Yeah, you certainly get all that. I almost get like a fruit punch kind of vibe from it personally, but that could be just me. Flavor: juicy tropical fruit and citrus, floral hints of grapefruit, light bodied and quenching. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how light bodied a 6.8 beer can be, but it isn't heavy. Oh yeah, you do get the hints. You do get those berries for sure. Again, it has a very fruit punch kind of vibe. meaning you get a lot of mixed fruit in there. You do get some of that citrus, but you get also some red fruits in there. You certainly feel some berries, probably raspberry. I'm also feeling some tart strawberry in there. You might get some tropical fruit in there as well. I'm certainly feeling some apple, without a doubt. We have a sip of whiskey. I was trying to set up a live video, but I couldn't get my camera to work. So, well, hell, I'm gonna do something anyway, because I'm not a quitter. Anyway, I love the aromas this whiskey has to offer. That's why, actually, they recommended drinking it neat, and I have drank it neat, and I enjoy it neat. But I really wanted some on the rocks tonight. And I do think it's a whiskey that holds up well on the rocks as well. It's just a very smooth. Uh, Many young whiskeys, unaged whiskeys, even rested whiskeys, tend not to be the smoothest, or they tend not to have the most dimension. Sometimes they can be smooth, but they don't necessarily give you a lot of character. And this is very smooth and offers me a lot of character, which is why I'm a fan of the White Mule products. The Mountain May, the 27, even the apple pie, which I'm not typically a fan of products like that, it is done well for what it is. I mean, look, I mean, no face. This is 80 proof. It just make you make no face and all. It really is that smooth. But not only is it smooth, it has a lot of dimension and character, and that's what you miss in a lot of rested whiskeys. Is they don't typically give you a lot of character unless you're starting with a good product in the first place. And that's what they're doing right at White Mule, in my opinion. Is that again, you have that added dimension of the smoked corn, the smoked grain. 80% corn, 15% wheat, 5% barley. It's got a hint of sweetness, but not overly so. That hickory smoke just runs through it beautifully. Oh, it's just perfect in my opinion. So I'm gonna set that down. I'm gonna go back to the beer for just a second, my friends. So, anyways, yeah. In conclusion, anyways, the barrels that they use add a lot of dimension. They have this process that, again, they're kind of tight-lipped about. They wouldn't even share with me, man. They did share some secrets, but they weren't going to give me that. Kind of a proprietary thing they do. I know some places use oak chips or various other things, to help the process, and I don't know exactly what they do. But whatever they are doing, quite frankly, I don't even want to know. I want to keep the mystery alive. The fact is that they're doing some great products. It's a very small distillery, but I really think these guys have potential to be great because the products they're doing are beyond amazing. If you're a fan of unaged whiskey, I mean to say, if you're a fan of rested oak whiskey, or even aged whiskeys, bourbon whiskeys, whatever. If you're a fan of just quality product, I certainly recommend you finding a way, for whatever reason, to visit White Mule in Purdy, Missouri, or at the very least, find their products. They're not in a lot of places yet, but I really predict they're going to be, at least throughout Missouri. I know you can find most of their products in Joplin, Missouri, I think they're in a small handful of places in Springfield. I personally bought the products from the distillery, but they're just doing some great stuff out there, man. They ain't playing. Gary out there is a veteran, and I hope it's okay for me to say because he didn't tell me not to say anything, but I know he's still a member of the National Guard. So I love supporting people like that. I mean, he's a veteran, and he's doing such amazing product out there. So support the small places. People talk about, well, what does it matter if I'm buying from the big guys? Well, what does it matter? Well, it does matter because you want to support these smaller local establishments, whether we're talking about craft beer or craft or boutique whiskey, because well, the money stays local. We're not feeding some CEOs a lavish lifestyle. We're actually supporting a business. It does matter what you do. Folks that want to pretend that it doesn't make a difference, they're fooling themselves and they're trying to fool you. So let's get back to this beer. Let's give you a little bit more about this beer. I'm gonna move on, man. So again, I didn't want to have a hoppy beer with this. I just wanted to have something with some flavor, a lot of fruit flavor going on here. I thought it would complement the whiskey well, and I was right because I know what the hell I'm doing, man. That was a cocky thing to say, Tom. I know, but I've been at this a long time. I've been drinking legally for 31 years now. We won't talk about how long I was drinking illegally, because then I'll get knocks on the door, and the Orange Man will send his goon squad to get me, and who needs that? So there you go. Anyways, I'm not going to finish this whole beer. I'm going to sit and enjoy it. It's a great whiskey, great beer. I hope you are having a great Friday night as I am. The Beer Whisperer salutes you. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. Who the hell else would I? Well, of course we know that. Why do you keep saying it, Tom? Prolific beer and whiskey drinker. I've knocked back a few in my time. Purveyor of wisdom. That may be overstating it a tad, but occasionally I get lucky. An all around good guy. Well, to know me is to love me, and that's no joke. You all have a good evening.